Good morning all. We will be doing the QM method today, and I have already shared the question. I hope my screen is visible now. Yes, my screen is visible. Okay. So today topic is QM method, that is also called as tabular method. Okay, and this is why this method is important is because we have to this method, if it has to be done with respect to computers, so computer will be not able to do the K-map method, but computer system or any digital system will be able to solve or simplify any expression using QM method. Okay, so this is called as Quinn-McCluskey method. Quinn-McCluskey minimization technique, and in short we call it as tabular method also. Okay, and in this this is little lengthy method of doing the simplification. You have learned QM method, so you may think that why I am doing it as a lengthy method, but it is required to understand that if we are doing it using a computer system or using any digital device, this is how things will happen inside the system. This is how the program will be made to do it automatically using a computer system. So step 1, you people have already done, I guess. So step 1 is writing the truth table for it. So you write your min term, then x, then y, then z, and your function. So step 1, there are many steps, and understand it carefully with me, otherwise you people will be confused for this. So I am writing the truth table, which two of you have already shown me. Okay, so what is the truth table? Truth table, because it is a 3 variable term, it is ranging from 0 to 7. So I have written all 0 to 7, and I will be writing it in the binary form also. So I have written it in binary form now. And when I say I have min term of 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for 2, function output will be 1. For 5, it will be 1, 6, 7, and a 4 also. And so 4, 5, 6, 7, it is 1, 1, 1. For 0, 1, and 3, it is a 0, right? So this is your step 1 of writing the given expression in a truth table form. Now the step 2. What does step 2 do? All of you write it as stepwise only, otherwise later you will get confused. Step 2, write what it is. It is separate the group, separate the min term depending on number of logic 1. I want you people to write this. Separate the min term based on number of logic 1. Okay, so now I am making group. Okay, and in group, can you see that which all group has 0 numbers of 1 in the expression? For example, I mean to say, I need to search for the min term which has only one in the binary expression. So I need to see only the number for which the function is 1. So I need to see for 2, 4, 5, 6 and 7 only. Okay. Now I want to make my group 1. I want to make my group 1, and group 1 means the expression in which you have only one. So which is that? 2 is there. In this 2, only one of the binary term is 1, right? Which other number has only 1? Only 4 has 1. So my group 1 will be comprising of 2 and a 4. And what is binary representation? This is your step 2. This is your step 2. So I need to write 2 here, 0, 1, 0, and I have to write a 4 here. Actually, group 1 could have been the minterm without any 1 if this 0 would have been 1. But in this question, 0 is not 1. So my group 1 is starting with number of logic 1 in the minterm. So only 2 expressions are there which is having logic 1. Okay. Now let us go to group 2. Group 2 means it should have 2 logic 1. Okay. So now I am writing group 2. Group 2. Now you have to tell me which minterm has 2 ones. Which minterm has 2 ones? One is 5. Which one is the other one?
6.
6 is the other one. So my group 2 will have 5 and 6. So 5 and 6. So my group 2 is complete. Now I will have my... Yes?
3 also.
3 ones will go to group 3. Okay. 3 ones will go to group 3. Now let us go to group 3. Group 3 says it should have 3 ones. And 3 ones can be only 1 because it is just a 3 variable question. So this is your third group. Did you understand? I have grouped it in 3 groups based upon number of ones in the binary representation. So this is your step 2. Now in this case you got only 3 groups. If by chance your minterm 0 function would have been 1, then you would have had 4 groups. Are you understanding? Now because I don't have a 4-1, I don't have the minterm of 0 as 1. That is why I'm left with only 3 groups. Now did you understand step 2? All of you have understood step 2? Now we will do step 3. All of you should have copied this, and I want you to go to step 3. Now step 3 says you need to pair it. You need to pair or group the terms having 1 bit change. Now what does this mean? I will tell you properly. Okay. Now write the step details. Right? Group terms having only 1 bit change. Group terms having only 1 bit change. Group terms having only 1 bit change. Okay. So I need to show your step 2 and step 3. You need to refer to your step 2 properly. Now here you see what I am trying to say is you need to do pairing or you need to do grouping. Now what do you mean by pairing or grouping? We pair our adjacent group. We pair our adjacent group by seeing one bit change. Okay. We see our adjacent group by seeing one bit change. Okay. One bit change means if you have to do it pair by pair. For example, in group 1, the first term is 2. I need to group this group with this group one by one. So 2 will be checked with 5, 2 will be checked with 6. Same way, 4 will be checked with 5, 4 will be checked with 6, whether pairing is possible or not. Once you finish this, then you have to go to the next pairing, means group 2 and group 3. Then you will be doing pairing 5 to 7, 6 to 7. We will be checking this and we will be seeing whether pairing is possible or not. Now pairing is possible based upon one bit change only. Now what do you mean by one bit change? And also this pairing is done between adjacent group only. We don't go to do pairing between group 1 and group 3. We do pairing between group 1 and group 2, then group 2 and group 3. We never cross or bypass anybody. Okay. So now I have to explain you what do you mean by pairing between group 1 and group 2. Okay. Now group 1 and group 2 means I have to start with 2. 2 to 5, 2 to 6. Then 4 to 5, 4 to 6. Now let me try to see whether 2 to 5 is possible or not. Now when I check 2 to 5 and I have to check one bit change only. You all know what do you mean by one bit change. One bit change means in the binary representation only one bit should change. Now in 2 what you see it is 0, 1, 0 and in 5 what you see is 1, 0, 1. Now how many bit change is there between 2 and 5? All the 3 bits are changing. See 0 to 1, 1 to 0, 0 to 1. So 2 to 5, all the 3 bits are changing. That means this pairing is not possible. This pairing is not possible. But if I do your 4 to 2 to 4, 2 to 5 you saw it is not possible, right? You saw that 2 to 5 is not possible. And now I should see 2 to 6 now. Now let us see 2 to 6 what is happening. 2 to 6, how many bit change is there? 2 to 6, only one bit change is there. 0 is changing to 1, 1 remains 1, 0 remains 0. So 2 to 6, only one bit change is there. Okay. Now let me show it in this form. Okay. Now you saw 2 to 5. 2 to 5. There it was not possible because it was a 3-bit change, not possible. Now 2 to 6 we will see. 2 to 6, what did you see? Only first bit is changing. So the pair of 2 and 6, the pair of 2 and 6 will give me what? It will give me first bit change is there, no? So whichever bit is changed, there we put a dash. So what do I write? I write a dash and what is not changing is written as it is, 1 and 0. Did you understand this step? Dash 1, 0. Why dash? Because only first bit was changing, second and third bit was not changing. So it became dash 1, 0 and 2 to 6 pairing is possible. 2 to 6 pairing is possible. So I could do this. Now let us check for the other case. For the other case, 2 to 5, 2 to 6 over. Now we have to do 4 to 5 and 4 to 6. Now 4 to 5. 4 to 5, do you think that there is a pairing possible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. 4 to 5 pairing is possible. So I will show that 4 and 5 pairing is possible. And what is that pairing? Where should be dash written?
10 dash.
10 dash. So 4 and 5 pairing is possible. I wrote 10 dash. Now 4 to 6. 4 to 6 pairing is possible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
4 to 6 pairing is also possible. So I will write 4 to 6 pairing, and that pairing is written in this way. 4 to 6 pairing is possible, and I am writing 4, 6, and what it will be written as?
1-0.
1-0. So I hope you understood. Whichever is changing, only one bit, whichever is changing is written as dash, and rest is copied as it is. So group 1 and group 2 pairing is complete. I completed 2 to 5, which was not 2 to 5, which was not possible. 2 to 6 I could do. Then 4 to 5 and 4 to 6 was possible. So I got 3 pairs between for the pairing between group 1 and group 2. Now we have to do the same work with group 2 and group 3 also. Now I hope you people have understood what I am doing now. Now between group 2 to group 3, pairing will be checked between 5 and 7 and then 6 and 7. Do you think that pairing is possible between 5 and 7 and 6 and 7?
Yes, ma'am.
Both are.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, correct. Both are possible. So I will show both grouping now. What I am doing is actually step 2, but to refer it with this page and to use this step, I have to write it like this. So what I am doing is step 3 actually. We will copy it properly using this. Okay, so let me show the grouping now. So grouping between 5 and 7 is possible, and this gives me 1-1, right? Same way, grouping between 6 and 7 is possible, which gives me 6 and 7, and it gives me 1-1 dash. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let us go to I need to copy this. All of you please mark whatever I have done. I need to copy this because it is called as step 3. I have done all this in step 2 itself. I will be doing the same thing in step 3. Okay. I will be showing the same thing in step 3. Okay, now let us see our step 3. I will be writing the groups. So what is the way of writing the groups? You all write it properly. First group was 2 and 6, and that was -10. Second group was 4 and 5, and that was 10 dash. Third group was 4 and 6, and that was 1-0. Fourth group was 5 and 7, and that was 1-1. And last group was 6 and 7, and that was 1-1 dash. I hope this step is clear to all of you. So this is our step 3, where we do pairing between the adjacent group by writing dash for 1 bit change. Anything without 1 bit change is not paired. So this is our step 3. Now let us go to step 4. What does step 4 says? Step 4 says that you need to separate your pairs based on the location or place of dash. Now I need to rearrange these 5 pairs. Rearranging these 5 pairs in terms of place of dash. Now let me start one by one. which all pair has dash in the first place? Only one number is there who has dash in the first place. Now, which all has a dash in the second place? We have to list out that. Which all has the dash in the second place? 4 and 6 has dash in the second place, and 5 and 7 has dash in the second place, right? So this is grouping based upon the place of dash. Grouping based upon the place of dash, right? Now last place, which all number has? Last place is 4 and 5, which is 1 0 dash, and then you have 6 and 7, which is 1 1 dash. So now I have grouped it based upon the place of dash. Now after we do this, then next step is to go to step 5 by further adding the dash. By further adding the dash. Now further adding the dash will be, or we can after putting it in this location, we can do further grouping in step 4 itself. And what is that? Now you can see based upon the place of dash. Now I want you people to see these pair. 4 6 is 1 dash 0, 5 7 is 1 dash 1. So this is your group based on the place of dash. Now in this you can see that again there is a 1 bit change. So 1 is same, dash is same, and again there is 1 bit change. And this 1 bit change can again be grouped together by placing a dash. Now what I am trying to say is we will do further grouping. So this gives rise to 1 dash dash, 1 dash dash, and this 1 dash dash is made up of which group? It is made up of 4 5 6 7. Can you see this? Same way I will see in my third place. Third place means third group. First group, second group, third group. Because first group had only 1 dash, I can't do any further grouping. But second group has 2 dash, and I checked that this grouping can be done by adding 1 more dash. Coming to my last group, again I can see there is 1 bit change only. 1 1 is there, dash dash is there. Only this 0 and 1 is changing. So again I can make a group out of it, and it will be written as 1 0 and 1 will give me dash and another dash. So this also gives rise to 4 5 6 7 only. So we got same answer from 2 different groups. Now when I do such grouping, I put a tick on it that I could group it somewhere. I could group it somewhere. And when I group it somewhere, then I understand that this becomes my prime implicants. Now I have to, whatever we are getting in this are called as prime implicant only. So this is also one prime implicant. This group is also one prime implicant. This group is also one prime implicant. Now I did not put a tick on this first one. So it is not that I will leave it. I will have to take it. So in step 5, what I will do is I will bring this into picture. I will put it a tick and I will bring it. Now we started with X, Y, Z, right? It was X, Y, Z. So I will write this X, Y, Z here also. Now, what is this 2, 6? What is this 2, 6? It is actually X bar, X is dash. X is dash means it will not be written. And then what will be written? It is a Y and Z bar. So step 5 will give me Y, Z bar. Why y z bar? Because first variable was a dash. Dash will not be written because it is dropped. So it is first variable is, I will write in front of this only. So this is y z bar. And what do you think this one dash dash is? What is one dash dash? No answer.
X.
X.
Correct. One dash dash is x. So we got x from two places and we got this yz bar. So this x and this yz bar, this is called as prime implicant. We have got prime implicant in step 5. We got prime implicant in step 5. Now the last step of this method, that is step 6, is called as essential prime implicant table. It is called as essential prime implicant table. Now this step, students have doubt in general because I have seen your seniors. So all of you should see this table carefully. I am making one table here. The first column is a decimal notation written. Okay, decimal notation written, and then we write prime implicant in my next column. All of you have to copy this, okay? And whichever term was 1 there, that was 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, all that min terms will be written here. So M2, M4, M5, M6, and M7 will be written. Okay, decimal notation will also be written. Decimal notation means my first prime implicant is what? My first prime implicant is yz bar, or you can take it x also, does not matter. So yz bar, it came from where? It came from 2 and 6. I'm writing the decimal notation here. And yz bar is coming from 2 and 6 means I will put a cross in front of M2 and M6 because yz bar has come from 2 and 6. It is covering which term? It is covering M2 and it is covering M6. So M2 and M6 cross is put. What is my next prime implicant? My next prime implicant is X. And X has come from where? It has come from 4, 5, 6, 7. It has come from 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I should complete this table. And because it is covering 4, 5, 6, 7, I will be putting a cross in this 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now we have to choose the column in which only one cross is there. So what I am trying to say is we have to see that this prime implicant is taking care of which important term which is not being taken care by anybody else. So for example, if I try to see this M2, if I try to see this M2, M2 is alone in this column. M2 is alone in this column, or M2 is being covered by whom? M2 is being covered by YZ bar. So, because M2 is covered only by YZ bar and not by anybody else, so this gives rise to one of the essential prime implicant. Because of this M2, YZ bar becomes a essential prime implicant. YZ bar becomes an essential prime implicant. Till this table is there and till this verification is there, all will be called as prime implicant only. Once this table come and once we do this verification, then only any prime implicant is converted to essential prime implicant. Now, in the second row, do you see any term which is being covered only by this X? See, for example, 6 is there, which is covered by both. So 6 does not have any problem. But 2 had a problem. It is being covered by only YZ bar. So for this 2, this YZ bar becomes important. And X becomes important for what? M4, M5 and M6. All this gives rise to all this gives rise to X. So X becomes a essential prime implicant again. This also becomes a essential prime implicant. Now M6 is there, which is there in both. So this is something which is not a problem. If you are taking YZ bar, along with this 6 is coming. And if you are taking this X, along with that again 6 is coming. So this steps prove that we have both X and YZ bar as essential prime implicant. Both X and YZ bar is essential prime implicant. Now you can verify your answer using a K-map also. Okay. So I want you to quickly make a K-map of it and show me the verification. Verification of this question by making a K-map. I assume that each one of you know the K-map properly now. Quickly do and see whether K-map will get me the same answer or not. So what I am doing is I am doing K-map verification of the same question. And it is a 3 variable question, right? X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z and which all term was 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, no? So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So now let us see the grouping. Grouping will be this one. This gives rise to what? This gives rise to X. And what is this? This gives rise to Y, Z bar. So you can see from that time, whatever we were doing, the same thing is done in such a less time. But anyway, we require this QM method because computer system does the work in this way only. I hope this method is clear to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. If you have any doubt, you please ask me. Now, just to be assured that you people have understood this, I am giving you one question which you need to solve now only and show me. Okay, there is no homework. You have to solve this question now only and show me. And all of you please understand carefully what all I want in this question. Because a few of you I will be asking one part of it and others I will be asking one part of it. Okay. First of all, make a note of this expression on which I will be asking whole lot of question. The expression, this is practice question. Okay. Question is A B bar C plus A bar B bar C plus A bar B C plus A bar B bar C bar plus A B bar C bar. Okay, I am repeating A B bar C, A bar B bar C, A bar B C, A bar B bar C bar and A B bar C bar. Okay, what all you have to do? Number one, you have to make a truth table of this. Okay, you have to make truth table of this. Second question says you make a K-map of this. K-map and simplify. So you have to simplify. K-map simplification you have to show me. K-map simplification and implement using NAND gate. What do you mean by that? You have to simplify it first and whatever your final answer comes, that answer need to be implemented with NAND gate. Means you need to draw the NAND gate circuit for the answer, only for the answer. This is your B part question and C part question is solve this using QM method. Solve this using QM method. solve this using QM method. Okay, so you need three things: truth table, KMAT, and QM method. Now you should start doing this randomly. I will be asking any one of you to give me the answer of any one of it. If you feel that you want to show me the answer of QM method, you can directly start with QM method. Others, if they want to show me truth table, let them do that, and others can do KMAT. Anyone, whichever you feel confident, you do that and show it to me in today's class time now itself. Okay, so this is the question. All of you need to solve and show it to me.